Chapter 1. A World at War. In the summer of 1914, the world teetered on the brink of a monumental catastrophe. Nations clashed in a war that would later be etched into history as World War I. Among the countless young men heeding the call to duty, one stood out: John Smith, an optimistic and patriotic 18-year-old from a quiet English village. He was destined to become the last living veteran of this colossal conflict. Chapter 2. The Call to Duty. John Smith, a young man of humble origins, felt the undeniable tug of duty and service. With an eagerness and idealism typical of youth, he enlisted in the British Army, bidding a tearful farewell to his family, who understood that these partings might be permanent. His journey took him from the serene countryside of his homeland to the harrowing, blood-soaked battlefields of France, where the brutality of war would shape him indelibly. Chapter 3. Life in the Trenches. The trenches were a living nightmare, an unending struggle for survival. John and his comrades endured ceaseless shelling, gas attacks, and the ever-present specter of disease. Amid the chaos and despair, deep bonds formed among these soldiers. They became a brotherhood of shared suffering, relying on each other for strength and support, their humanity resilient in the face of insurmountable adversity. Chapter 4. The Armistice. November 11, 1918, brought the long-awaited armistice, signaling the end of the war. John had survived the unimaginable, but he bore the weight of sorrow for the countless friends he had lost. Returning home, he struggled to find his place in a world forever altered by the Great War. Chapter 5. Rebuilding a Life. Like many veterans, John grappled with the daunting challenge of reintegrating into civilian life. The scars of war, both visible and hidden, haunted him. He sought employment and endeavored to rebuild his life, but the memories of the battlefield never truly released their grip. Chapter 6. A Quiet Hero. As time swept forward, John Smith's story slowly receded into the background. A new world war consumed the planet, and John, a humble hero, refused to glorify the horrors he had witnessed. He merely went about his life, but he never forgot the fallen comrades who had stood by his side. Chapter 7. The Last of a Generation. As the years passed, the ranks of World War I veterans grew thinner. The world began to realize that John Smith was the final living connection to a generation that had endured unimaginable hardship. Historians and journalists sought him out, eager to hear his first-hand account of the war, turning him into a symbol of the enduring human spirit. Chapter 8. A Quiet Passing. John Smith lived to an old age, bearing witness to the passage of time and the changing world. On a peaceful day in 1999, he quietly passed away, leaving behind a legacy of resilience and sacrifice. The world mourned the loss of the last veteran of World War I, but his memory lived on as a poignant reminder of the high price paid for peace. His story became an enduring symbol of the human capacity to endure and strive for a better world.